Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to another episode of Wake Up American. This is your daily American English pronunciation show where we help you try to get in your 5 to 10 minutes of daily American English pronunciation practice because that is the key. Showing up every single day for practice. We're about to enter the weekend. Happy Friday. Friday, everybody, which means that maybe you're not going to have as many opportunities to use your English, to speak in English, and things like that. That's a problem because, again, if you're serious about learning any language, you have to find ways to incorporate it every single day. So that's why we are here. And to guide you in this process, I will be your host. My name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath, which is one of the four keys to a natural sound in American English pronunciation that if you're able to implement, you will automatically sound more American in less time. Those keys are placement, pitch, breath, trying to weaken your consonant sounds and trying to strengthen your vowel sounds. And today, speaking of consonant sounds, something that we're really going to be targeting is we're going to be taking a look at a consonant sound, a very special consonant sound. This consonant sound is so special, in fact, that this is often what can immediately make someone sound American or not. This is one way that maybe if you're trying to sound American, but you're not, people can identify why. And it involves the letter T. Specifically, I want to target the letter T at the ends of words today because what often happens in other languages when there is a T type sound, that sound is pronounced very clearly and audibly and proudly. But in American English, we like to hide our T sounds. In fact, it's very rare where you actually see a T sound that makes like a t, just doesn't happen very often. So what we want to do is we want to find some alternative ways to pronounce that in order to achieve a more natural sound. One of those ways to do that is through a technique called a held T or a stop T, which basically means that we are not going to release the breath on that. Now, we've talked about held T's before, but today I really just kind of want to target them at the ends of words because this is going to enable us to achieve a much more natural sound in American English. It's also going to help us actually link words together, which we will demonstrate. To start, though, I need to make sure that you can even hear a held T. So if you see these words below, you want them to sound different. Each word in each pair should sound different from each other. If they don't, then we have a problem. The held T is not the same thing as a silent T. I'm not just taking out the T sound. I'm slightly shortening the vowel that comes before the T, and then I'm going to stop the breath from releasing fully. Stop it in here. What's up, Amin? I'm gonna get coffee after this. I promise. I'm gonna get coffee after this. I mean, where are you located? Let me know if you're in the U.S. Um, so when we say these words, we want to make sure that they don't sound the same. Let me just say all the words and see if you can hear the difference to get started. Stay, state, mo, mo, ray, rate, high, height, play, plate, ten, tent. Can you hear the difference between those? If you can't, that's something that we're going to be working on today. We're going to work on your noticing. The goal for today is not perfection. The goal is to give you a tool and a resource that you can turn back to for practice. So let's kind of pay attention to that first pair. Stay and state. Stay, stay, stay. That's the first word. Stay. That's the second word. One of the things you may notice, let's look at that second word. Let's drag it out. It's like stay, stay. That may be how you're saying state right now. What you're going to notice is right before that T sound, if I drag it out again, stay. Do you hear that moment where it kind of catches, like it gets stuck a little bit, like stay? And then I pronounce that. T. Basically, what's going to happen when you're holding a sound is you're just going to stop there. So you're not going to do the release. Compare stay and stay. Again, stay and stay. So again, we're just not releasing that T sound at the end. The other thing you may notice is again that the vowel sound gets slightly cut. Let's compare the first two words. Stay. Stay is very open, right? That's the first word. Stay. Now let's add the held T. Stay. Stay. And now let's do both words again. Stay. 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 Do you hear that vowel difference? So again, we're slightly shortening the vowel sound in that A sound in stay. So this is going to be really fundamental to getting that natural held T sound because the reality again in sentences, if you have a word that ends on a T, very frequently in American English, you're not going to hear that T sound. This is not just for T's, by the way. This is also for like B sounds, like in a word like rub versus just like rub, or like a K sound like crack versus crack. Okay, so it's not just for T's. We're just going to focus on T's for today. Let's take a look at our second word. Let's do this pair twice. Mo, 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 mo. Let's do our next pair. Ray, 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 ray. Let's do our next one. Hi, height, hi, height. And our next one. Play, 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 play. And our last one. 10, 10, 10, 10. Those again examples. First time was always with the breath, the second time with the held sound. I want to show why this is important at a sentence. Let's take a look at an example of a sentence that can use a lot of held T's if you choose to. A weird sentence, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to say this sentence. Let's say it the first time with all of our T sounds. Let's just go heavy on the T's, normal T's. That isn't the cat that he sought. That isn't the cat that he sought. That's physically difficult to say. That is very challenging because those T sounds are breaking my breath. And remember, if I had to summarize American English in one word, that word would be breath. We want breath to flow. T sounds block breath. So that's the reason why we're doing a lot of these held sounds. Okay. So another way that you may say this sentence is with like a fast D sound. So like instead of that isn't, you might say that isn't. Instead of that he, you may say that he. Okay. Another option is with a held T sound. So let's kind of say this sentence build very gradually. We'll build up to it. Each word we'll just kind of build up word by word using held T sounds wherever we see a traditional T. So our first word, that. Next word is isn't. So that isn't. That isn't. Clear difference between that isn't and that isn't. That isn't the cat. That isn't the cat versus that isn't the cat. Right? Not a very natural sound there, right? So we're going to use held T's again. So that isn't the cat. That isn't the cat that. That isn't the cat that versus that isn't the cat that. It's just so hard to say that. It's so hard to say that. And then our whole thing. That isn't the cat that he sought. That isn't the cat that he sought versus that isn't the cat that he sought. It's physically hard to say that. It's very challenging. That isn't the cat that he sought. That isn't the cat that he sought. That isn't the cat that he sought. So again, hopefully you can practice that sentence and see those differences I am highlighting. I see Douglas is here. What's up, Douglas? The problem in English is the final T, D, and some consonant clusters. Like that's certainly one of the problems. If you're finding that to be the problem, though, one of the bigger issues might be that the problem isn't actually the consonant sounds. The problem is that we're not allowing our breath to flow and we're allowing our consonant sounds to stop us. And that's obviously what we're trying to prevent. All right, guys. Douglas, always good to see you. So practice your held T's at the ends of words. In general, if you see a word that's ending on a T, this is one option for how it can be pronounced. The t sound is probably the least likely option, I'll be honest. If you have questions about this, feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I release you to the weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe as always. And we'll be back on Monday with more Wake Up American. Thank you so much for being with us. Look, there's a million resources out there for American English pronunciation. So the fact you turned to us for a little bit, you trusted me with your pronunciation, guys. I appreciate that. We'll see you all later. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Practice your English this weekend. We'll be back Monday. You guys take care.